Turn on your volume, turn on your volume. Yes, and thank you for joining us again on eVision Live on the topic of the might in you, and today about your birth present. Everybody has a birth present with Dr. Alexandra Kleeberg.
Welcome to your happy, healthy, fulfilled life. And Dietrich Busaka.
Thank you. So we actually want to start this broadcast with a small questionnaire to you. So have you ever experienced the feeling of not being wanted, of being rejected, that you didn't feel good in a group, or the people don't like me? If you ever felt this feeling, please say in the comments below yes, or if not, please say no. So please answer this question, and we would like to know if you ever experienced this feeling. Mm-hmm. Why? Is it so important?
Why is it so important? It sometimes goes back to your birth. Birth is the first step into this world which we live in right now, and it's very, very important to feel welcomed. I have a lot of clients, I think it's about half of them, that don't feel welcome. They were either not wanted from their mothers, some were not wanted from the family of their mothers, some were not wanted from the tribe, let's say a Catholic tribe or some sort of religious tribe, because the mother was too young or the daddy was not the right person.
They were not married or whatever, yes.
Yes, and sometimes I have clients that were born in the 40s or 50s or 60s, and there were a lot of fugitives from the war in Germany, and maybe the father was a fugitive and the mother was a Bavarian, refugee. And the family said, no, you can't marry a refugee. It's the same now, but it was that in the 50s and 60s in Germany.
Yes.
And when I asked my mother if I was welcome, she said, yes, you were welcomed, but if you wouldn't have been born, it would have been okay as well. So that was her answer. She was, I told you, I'm from a farm. My parents were working, and pregnancy was a challenge for the work. She worked till
loss of work power for some time.
Yes, but she worked till the day before I was born.
Jesus.
Yes, she worked. She didn't, I think I was born on a Saturday, so I think she didn't work then. But she worked all through her pregnancy, and she felt thick. She felt sort of slow, and she couldn't work as much as she wanted to on the field. So it was not a state she really liked, I think. And she was also something ashamed of being pregnant. Mm-hmm. So I think it was okay that I was there, but as she said, if it wouldn't have happened, she would be happy all the same. So
okay, fortunately it happened and you're here, otherwise we wouldn't have this wonderful conversation.
I pushed my way through in a way.
You pushed your way through. It is one of the points which is important, I think you say. But for me it was actually different, because I have had the impression, and you are quite jealous about my children
childhood, yes, and your photographs.
If you look at my photos, I was always smiling. My parents were happy around me, so I had very wonderful.
There was this one grandmother and the other grandmother, and the aunt came and smiled. And
so I have really this experience of being wanted. So it was probably a help for me in my life. But, well, there are other problems coming later on in your life. But I think this is something important. So you're working in your groups with this question of being wanted or not being wanted.
Yes, I think it's very important to self-healing. The healing of the body starts when we are relaxed. Mm-hmm. Or when we are in flow. the body doesn't repair itself when we are in a mode of flight and fight, or when we are afraid or fearful. And if you're not wanted, you might be fearful when you meet somebody else. I was, as a child, I never wanted to take that a photo has been taken, and I needed a photo for a passport when I was 4 years old, and I sat on my grandmother's leg and I was crying. You can see the tears on the passport picture I had. And there were some pictures where I sat very withdrawn, very suspicious of people, not of nature, not of dogs, not of cows, not of horses, but of people. And I had a hard time to get acquainted to people, and it's something I learned. That I speak here, it's something I learned. It's not my talent and it's not my potential, but it's something I learned on the way. My usual mode is being introverted and a little bit withdrawn.
Okay,
So
I also would say I'm an introvert, but when it comes of healing, sometimes yes, I have it's feeling I can always recall this image of a happy childhood, early childhood. I think this is sometimes very helpful. But how can you do it? Is it just fate? If you haven't had a nice childhood, what can you do about it?
Till about 20 years ago, I think, and even now people say it's fate. It's something what is objective, what is rational, that it was such and such, and you can change it. And there is a Freudian joke I like to tell. It's about two friends meet, and the one was peeing into bed even as a grown-up, and he went to a Freudian psychoanalysis, and they met maybe after 1 year or 2 years, and the friend asked, "Oh, are you still peeing into your bed?" And he said, "Yes, I'm still doing that, but now I know why I do it."
Okay.
So this was sort of therapy-like, that you had a trauma, you had deficits, you had certain negative experiences, and you have to find a way to live with it. And about 20 years ago, a lot of things changed, and that came from new science, from psychoneurology, from psychohormonology, and so forth. And there have been a lot of, mostly I think people studying psychology. They were put into these MRTs where you get your brain scanned, and they were shown different pictures, different images, sadness, aggression, joy, and whatever. And they found out in which part of the brain they found resonances to these pictures. And what they found out, that the brain changes every time it sees another picture, and with the change of the brain, the body changes, right? If you see an aggressive picture, you get more into this sympathetic mode and produce adrenaline or cortisol or whatever. And if you have peaceful pictures, you rather calm down. So from that time, there is a sentence in psychotherapy: it's never too late to have a good childhood. It's never too late to have a wonderful birth where the whole universe jubilates.
Okay, but is this possible? How can I imagine a wonderful childhood, a wonderful birth, if this image is somehow programmed into my cellular consciousness?
Yes, there are different steps to it and different layers to it. So I would think the first is to make it conscious and to release the emotions that are triggered, that are combined with this old image. So that's something we will talk about, I don't know, in the
next one after, yes.
Yes, maybe in May or something like that. So in the 10 videos ahead or something like that. So the first thing is consciousness, the second is to release emotions, and then to adjust to creating. Right? If the emotion is gone, if the sadness or the fury or the hate or the helplessness is gone, your mind is free to create, and it's peaceful to create.
Yes.
So then you create the image of a new birth.
Okay.
And I'm a Jungian psychologist, although I made a Freudian joke, or maybe because...
I hope we didn't lose all the Freudian...
There might be some jokes about Jungians as well, so please write them down. I love jokes, I think
they're good.
Yes.
Jokes are always good because if you
laughing
laugh...
is very healthy, yes.
So also leave your comments down below and also your jokes and also the answer to our question, if you can relate to this question of I'm not wanted, I'm not liked, I'm not enough.
Yeah, or what heals me, what heals this inner image. And so in the last video I talked about the cell mandala. The first cell for me was a mandala, a very simple form of mandala, and then the beings which evolved are differentiated forms of mandalas. Jung said the mandala is an archetype of the self, and the archetype of the self is where we feel centered and stable and rooted, and the mandala of the self also includes all the experiences which we made. So what I do in my groups, it's an imagination about the mandala of birth, and you are welcome to load it down as a blueprint or as an inspiration. And in the center of this mandala you have the newborn child, so you might as well put a baby picture of you in it. You
will find it below. Please look for the link for this image that we're giving to you.
And the next layer of the mandala is the good parents, the mother who rejoices, who feels warm about this birth, and the father who feels pride about this birth maybe and love. So you have the child, and you have the parents, then you have the family. Sometimes the mother doesn't want the child because the family doesn't want the child, right? So it's good to have a family which welcomes you. Then you have a tribe or a social network which wants you. Sometimes it's the mother wants the child, the family wants it, but maybe the network, the religious party, for example, doesn't want it, or the political party doesn't want it, or whatever. So you have a network of neighbors, of friends who want this child. And then comes the even more creative part. There are a lot of my clients that put in angels, and some love to put fairies. In a lot of fairy tales there are 12 fairies, you call them fairies?
12, yes.
12 or 13 fairies around it who give you symbols of power into your cradle, or wishes of power into your cradle. So this, I think, is a very, very strong image. And some are with a shamanic background. They put power animals around it, like lions or deers or bears. And you can also put trees around it. We had this exercise in the last video where you root down as a tree, and as we know now that the roots of the trees, they have networks under the earth. So you have a cradle woven out of branches, and underneath you have a cradle woven out of the roots of trees. You might have butterflies around it, you might have birds around it, and you have the stars. In German we have a proverb saying that when a child is born, a star is born as well. And we have this in the Jesus story,
in the Christian tradition, you have this where you not only the Where is it? There's a cow, there's the animals around the sheep,
and the king comes,
and then the king
and
comes.
The angels jubilate. So you can also look at this. It's a story of rebirth. It's the Christmas story, which I put into a psychological, archetypical scene. I would think you
about
can.
The inner child, very much birth of your inner child.
Yes.
And this is, well, you can download it on YouTube, on the YouTube channel of Alexandra Kleeberg. Just go there and check out. And so if you also, there are many other videos also on self-healing there.
Yes, so you can put these 3 kings in the mandala of the birth as well, and the stars that are sparkling and jubilating. And you can use this blueprint as an inspiration, put your baby photo in there, or you create your own hymn of birth. And you put all these fairies, angels, kings, whatever in it. So it comes out as a very, very strong picture, which is stronger than the one you use so far, which is negative. Okay. So you use a very strong picture.
And from your experience, is it really possible to replace the actual, real, maybe negative image that you had, which is programming yourself, by something new, completely different? This reprogramming is possible.
Yes, I told you it goes, from my experience, the step is to release the emotions in the old program, and to be calm and free to create something new, and then it is possible, and it's fun as well. And you can create in a collage the best birth image you can think of.
Okay.
And if you would like, you can also present it on Facebook, and if you don't want it in public, you can write us and send it to us. We can put it anonymously on our homepage. There are very, very creative images on that, and I really love them, and it can inspire others, and that's our power of imagination. So it should be a hymn, a jubilation of creation when you were born.
So if you want to share, please welcome to share it, because other people might relate to it and might help them as well. So this is, I think, this question of sharing here in the community is very important. So Alexandra,
and I forget something. You copy it, you put it in different places where you pass by during the day, and every time you go there, you imagine it. It's not just one imagination.
You have to repeat it. You have to repeat it
over and over and over and over and over again. And this repetition stops when you have incarnated it, when you have integrated it, when you have embodied it, when you know, when somebody asks you, well, how was your birth, how were your parents, and you say, great, it was a jubilation of the cosmos.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Alexandra. Thank you for watching us here on eVision Live. Your birth present, you find it down below. It is an image and with also some explanations around it. So you can download it. So please go ahead and do it. And we hope to see you again next Tuesday at the same time, wherever you are in the world. We have people from India, from the US, from Australia, from Brazil watching us. So thank you for watching us, and see you again next time.
Open your heart and start.